All right, today we are uncorking a story that, believe it or not, starts on a simple supermarket shelf. But trust me, it quickly spills out into centuries of history, some really cool science, and, this incredible sense of national pride.
Think about it. When you see a bottle of olive oil, what comes to mind? Salad dressing, right? Maybe something to cook with. But what if I told you that inside some of those bottles, there's a whole story of ancient empires, global economics, and a victory that literally stunned the world? Well, that's exactly what happened. This particular olive oil was officially crowned the best on the entire planet. It just goes to show you, sometimes the most amazing stories are hiding right there in plain sight.
So how big of a deal was this win, really? I mean, we're not talking about some local fair here. No. This was a massive statement on the world stage.
Okay, so get this. At the super prestigious Miami International Olive Oil Competition, Tunisia went up against 14 other countries. And not just any producers, but 140 of the world's absolute elite. And they came out on top. Number one. This was so much more than just a win. It was a total validation of what they call ancestral know-how. You can just imagine it. Generations of wisdom poured into every single bottle.
Okay, but ancestral know-how sounds a bit vague, right? What does that actually mean in practice? What's the real, measurable science behind this green gold that makes it a world champion? All right, let's dig into it.
So the secret weapon here, it's a compound called polyphenols. You might have heard of them. They're these super powerful antioxidants, and they're what give high-end olive oil that distinctive kind of peppery kick at the back of your throat. And that taste, it's not just a sign of amazing quality, it also means it's packed with all sorts of health benefits.
Now, to keep those delicate polyphenols safe, the process is absolutely critical. The olives have to be cold-pressed at a maximum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. If you go any hotter, even a little bit, you start to destroy the very compounds that make the oil so special in the first place.
And here's another huge marker of excellence. The acidity level is incredibly low, less than 0.34%. I mean, that's almost nothing. And in the world of olive oil, a super low acidity level is like a stamp of approval. It tells you the olives were incredibly fresh and that they were processed absolutely perfectly.
But of course, it all starts with the olive itself, right? And the star of the show here is the Tutui cultivar. It's a prized local Tunisian variety, and it's just naturally packed with those all-important polyphenols, and that translates directly into the oil's signature robust fruity flavor.
But all this modern science, it's really built on a foundation of deep, deep history. This kind of expertise doesn't just pop up overnight. We're talking about something that's been cultivated for literally millennia. So let's peel back the layers and see just how far back these roots really go.
So really, how far back are we talking here? I want you to guess. We're not talking about a few decades or even a few centuries. Not even close.
No, we're talking about a tradition that stretches all the way back to the Roman Empire and maybe even before that. Archaeologists in the region have literally dug up ancient olive presses. By the time the Romans were around, growing olives here was so important, it was actually considered a tribute in nature. So you see, this isn't just some modern product. It's a practice that's woven into the very fabric of this land's history. Okay, so fast forward, that ancient legacy is now crashing right into a huge moment in the 21st century global market. And this big award, wow, it could not have come at a better, more strategic time.
You see, right now the global olive oil market has a pretty simple problem. It's supply and demand 101. The world wants more than it can produce. Demand is sitting at over 3 million tons, but the supply is stuck around 2.7 million. That gap? Well, that gap creates a massive opportunity for any producer who can step up and deliver both on quantity and on exceptional quality.
And you better believe industry leaders are taking notice. This quote here, it just perfectly captures the feeling on the ground. People are seeing the upcoming harvest as not just another season, but as strategic and historic. The world is hungry for top-tier olive oil, and Tunisia's basically saying, we're ready. We can deliver.
And the man behind that powerful quote is industry leader Lermani Tarek. His perspective just hammers home the point that this award is so much more than just a shiny prize. It represents a huge economic moment for the entire country.
Which brings us to what might be the most important point of all. Because when you strip away all the science and the history and the economics, you're left with something even more powerful. And that's what this green gold really truly means to the people of Tunisia.
I mean, it's a story you can see right there in the landscape itself, a story of the soil, the sun, and traditions passed down from one generation to the next. For Tunisians, this isn't just farming. It's a product that's completely inseparable from the land and the culture that created it.
The source material we looked at sums it up just beautifully with this phrase, fierté tunisienne, which means Tunisian pride. This is not just some export commodity. It really is the green gold that makes the heart of an entire nation beat.
So, the next time you're in the grocery store and you see a bottle of olive oil, maybe you'll ask yourself, what's the story inside this bottle? This incredible win for Tunisia is such a great reminder that sometimes in the most everyday things, you can find a taste of science, economics, culture, and of history itself, which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. What does it actually mean to taste history?